Good afternoon to all. I know I'm late today. From many times I'm not making the videos. So now we will be regular with the chapters. So first we will learn our EVS chapter number 13, food for plants and animals. Okay, let's read the chapter again. Let's read the heading of the chapter again. Food for plants and animals. Like there is a food, and that food is for plants and as well as for animals. Food for plants and animals. So I will make you understand this chapter. Okay. So let's start. Okay. So food for plants and animals, everyone. We already know that humans depend on plants and animals for their food. Like, can you all make your food by your own? No, we can't make our food by our own. So our food grows on plants, or like cow is there. So cow gives us milk. So we all the humans depend on plants and animals only, right? But how do plants get food from themselves? But how do plants get their food? From where does they get their food? How does they make their own food? We will get to know what type of food do different animals eat, and how does the plant make their own food? From where does it get? So all questions will be cleared when I will be explaining you this whole chapter. Am I right? Okay. So let's start. First topic. Our first topic is plants make their own food. Means green plants make their own food. So this topic is green plants make their own food, right? Green plants make their own food. This is our topic, right? Okay. So now what we will get to know is so plants make their own food, we know, but how does they make their own food? Plants make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Now, I will tell you what is this process of photosynthesis. Let me tell you. This process of photosynthesis is like, to have an example, this is your plant. Okay. Now, in this process, here is this sunlight coming to this plant. The plant is storing this sunlight. Here from its roots the water is coming. Water is absorbed, right? So it is also stored in the stem. Now carbon dioxide is also stored in the stem. And do you know in the stem there is what? There is a substance known as chlorophyll. Okay, there is a substance known as chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. You know what does this chlorophyll substance help us to do? Let me tell you. This chlorophyll substance helps the leaves to get their color as green. If chlorophyll not be there, how does the leaves would be green? And without chlorophyll, the food is also incomplete. If chlorophyll not be there, then the plants also can't make their food, right? So it's a type of a substance which is present in leaves and which is responsible for the green color of plants, right? Okay, now let me ask you one question. Okay, name the substance responsible for green color of the leaves. Of this question, you will tell the answer in the comment box. Okay? Till now, thank you. Now this question is for you all. Let me repeat the question. Name the substance responsible for green color of the leaves. You have to tell the answer in the comment box. And I remind from comment box that subscribe this channel. Click that bell icon and also click the subscribe button. And it would be subscribed. Okay? Now do you know by the process of photosynthesis? Now, do you get to know that what is the process of photosynthesis? The process in which the plants get sunlight, water, chlorophyll and carbon dioxide to make the food. Okay? This is the definition of photosynthesis. If you want to make the note, copy this all written on the board. Okay? I'm giving you time to make the note. So that let me tell you what happened. Okay, so see. Now I hope you would get to know the topic of photosynthesis. Right? Okay. So this was our first topic. Now let me present this one. Okay? Now, do you know what these plants are known as? Plants are known as producers or autotrophs, and also you can say that they are the food factories of plants. Food factories means you can say the plants are called producers or autotrophs. Now do you know photosynthesis takes place in green color leaves of plants, that is chlorophyll. The leaves are called as the food factories of plants. Do you know the leaves which are present in the plant? The leaves are called the food factory. Food factories. Food factories of plants. Do you know? The leaves are called the food factories of plant. Because if leaves would not be there, how does the plants will get their food? Because the chlorophyll is present in the leaves, and if chlorophyll not be there, food would not be there. So leaves are called the food factories of the plants. Leaves prepare food with the help of carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Now, you know, like example I give you, have an example that this is your plant. Okay, so these leaves, do you know these leaves takes the carbon dioxide, means leaves prepare the food. Means if leaves would not be there, na, the food of the plant would not be become, because leaves only make the food of the plant. Plant do not do anything. Leaves only make the food for the plant. So you can say leaves are the kitchen of the plants. You can say it. Okay. Leaves prepare food with the help of carbon dioxide and water. Now, leaves prepare the food with the help of carbon dioxide and water. Okay. Carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So, leaves are the food factories, because if leaves are not there, the food of the plants would not be there. The plants would be die. they can't be helped in growth. So leaves are very important for the plants because leaves are the kitchen of the plants. So leaves only prepare the food. If leaves would not be there, who will prepare the food for the plants? And if there not be any leaf, so how does they survive? How will the plants survive? And if plants can't survive, then how the humans will be survived? So leaves are very important, Yes. So leaves uses to make the food for the plants. These items. Leaves uses carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll, chlorophyll. So the leaves need carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll and sunlight to make the food for the plants. Did you understand till now? Did you understand? Yes. So till now, how much topic we have covered? We have covered that if plant would not be there, animals would not be there, we humans can't also survive. We should not survive. Okay. So the green plants make their own food. This much topic we have covered. And plants make their own food from what? From photosynthesis. What is the photosynthesis? The process in which the plants make their food from carbon dioxide, sunlight, water, and as well as chlorophyll is called the process of photosynthesis. Did you understand till here? Did you? Okay. Then we have learned that the plants are called the producers and autotrophs. Why they are called the producers and autotrophs? They are called the producers and autotrophs because if plants would not be there, how can us humans can survive? So that is why they are known as producers or autotrophs. Photosynthesis takes place in green leaves of plants. Or we have also covered till here that the substance which is responsible for green color of the leaves, that is chlorophyll. The leaves are also called as food factories of plants. We have covered this much. And also we have covered that leaves are very important for plants because leaves are very important. If leaves would not be there, plants would not be there. Plants would not be there, animals and humans would not be there. And this earth would be without of anything. Did you understand that much? So leaves are the kitchen of the plants. You can say that leaves prepare the food. Plants do not do anything. Only leaves prepare the food. And leaves would not be there, plant would not be there. Plant would not be there, human and animals would not be there. Do you understand this much? Okay. Now leaves prepare the food with the help of carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll and sunlight. Did you understand? Yes. So leaves prepare the food for the plants with the help of carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll and sunlight. Can you understand this much? Did you? See that the leaves uses carbon dioxide, water from the roots, chlorophyll which is present in the leaves only, and as well as sunlight from the sun. Do you understand this much? Okay. Now water is absorbed by the roots of the soil. We know this much that yes, we know that water is absorbed from the roots of the soil. Did you understand this much? Water is absorbed from the roots of the soil. Okay, means by the roots from the soil. Means the plants have roots, and the water is absorbed from the roots from the soil, right? Okay, so water travels through the stem to reach the leaves. So this water, which is absorbed from the roots, travels throughout the stems to reach till the leaves, and then the leaves make the food for the plants, right? This is how the plants get their food from the leaves. Am I right till now? Okay. Carbon dioxide is taken from the air by small openings. That is called stomata present on the surface of the leaves. Now let me explain you the sentence. It is saying that, like we take oxygen, we are taking oxygen. This air which is coming from out, that is called as carbon dioxide. We are taking oxygen and we are putting out what? Carbon dioxide. And how does the carbon dioxide is taken by the plants? From where does the carbon dioxide is taken from the plants? The plants take carbon dioxide from the small openings. Like, have an example. This is your leaves, okay? And on this leaf there is some small dots, and which is on the surface of the leaves. And the water, the carbon dioxide is entered from these small openings, and then it comes into the plants. Did you understand? And do you know these small openings, what are known? These small openings are known as what? These small openings are known as stomata. What are these known as? Stomata. Now let me explain you what is stomata. The stomata is the small openings which is on the surface of the leaves, which is present on the surface of the leaves. And from the stomata, the plants take the carbon dioxide which gets out from us. Okay? Yes. Chlorophyll traps the energy of the sun. Now, do you know in the leaves, the chlorophyll which is present in the leaves, the chlorophyll which is present in the leaves takes the energy from the sun. Then leaves use this energy to convert carbon dioxide to oxygen, carbon dioxide and water to sugar. Now see what they are talking about. Then the leaves use this energy. The chlorophyll traps the energy from the sun. Now what happens to this energy? The leaves takes this energy, uses this energy to convert the carbon dioxide and water to sugar. Now let me repeat this thing again, that the chlorophyll traps the energy from the sun. This energy comes to the plants, but what happens to this energy then after coming in the plant? Then the leaves use this energy to convert the carbon dioxide and water to sugar. Did you understand this much? Let me repeat this line again. Then leaves use this energy to convert carbon dioxide and water to sugar. During this whole process, oxygen is also given out by the plants through what? Through the small opening called stomata. Did you understand this much? Okay, now let me explain again that what is stomata. If I tell you again stomata, what is stomata? So stomata is a small opening which is present on the surface of the leaves. Can you understand this much? Okay, see. If I give you an example, like the carbon dioxide is there, so we take oxygen which is present in the air. We take oxygen from our nose and gives carbon dioxide out from our mouth. So the carbon dioxide which is given out from us humans and animals, that carbon dioxide is taken by whom? That carbon dioxide is taken by the plants. Now, from how does the plants take the carbon dioxide into their parts. There is a small opening known as stomata which is present on the surface of the leaves, and from that small openings, from that stomata, the carbon dioxide comes in the plant. This much I hope this is clear to you all. Now do you know this chlorophyll? The chlorophyll traps energy from the sun, like the chlorophyll there, which is present in the leaves, traps the energy from the sun. Now these leaves uses this energy to convert carbon dioxide and water into sugar. Did you understand this much? Like chlorophyll traps the energy from the sun, then the leaves uses this energy to convert carbon dioxide and water to sugar. Did you understand this much? I hope so. Now, when this whole process, this whole cycle which is moving, like the carbon dioxide is taken, oxygen is made, oxygen is given out, carbon dioxide is taken, food is made by the leaves. During this whole process, the oxygen is also given out from the plants through what? Through the same stomata. Through the stomata only. During this whole process, the oxygen is given out by the plants through what? Through stomata. And oxygen is taken by us from our nose. That oxygen. So this is how the plant gives us oxygen. Did you understand this much? And that oxygen is used by animals and humans. Okay? Now simply, if I tell you one formula, see here, one formula I am giving you to all. That will help you, I hope so. So that formula is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll plus water plus carbon dioxide plus sunlight gives us glucose plus sugar. Like I am telling you that the chlorophyll traps the energy from the sun. Am I right? Yes, I was telling that. I was telling that chlorophyll traps the energy from the sun, and then the leaves uses this energy to convert carbon dioxide and water to sugar. So did you understand that? Is it converted into sugar? That sugar which is present in our at our home? No, that sugar is not converted by that energy. That is converted into that glucose. Glucose. It's not that sugar one. It's not that one sugar. It is talking about our glucose. Okay. And I am also saying that. Now see. If you understand this whole process of what? Whole process of photosynthesis. And we know that from photosynthesis we are what getting? We are getting sugar plus oxygen. Okay? From this whole process we are getting sugar and oxygen. Okay. I hope this much is clear to you all. Okay. Do you know? Now I would like to tell you one fact. It's a very amazing fact, Like desert plant. Like cactus is a desert plant. So make their food in their green and fleshy stem. Can you see? We all know that cactus have that thorny spines. But how does cactus make the food? Because does those thorny spines make the food of the plant? I don't think so. Okay, so they do not make their food in those thorny spines. They make the food in that hole, that green, their fleshy, that is known as their fleshy stem. It is their stem, the all the green and fleshy stem. Desert plants like cactus make their food in the green fleshy stem. This is because their leaves are reduced to thorns or spines to prevent water loss. Is because their leaves are reduced. Because their leaves reduces to thorns or spines. The leaves are like thorns and spines are their leaves to prevent water loss. To prevent water loss means they take water from that. Okay. This also protects the plants from being eaten, and the thorny spines also protects this cactus from the animals, right? Let me tell you this whole fact again. Let me read it out. Desert plants like cactus make food in their green fleshy stem. This is because their leaves are reduced to thorns or spines to prevent water loss. This also protects the plants, this cactus, too, from the animals by getting it eaten. Okay, now let's move to the other topic. Now the other topic is what happens to the food made by plants. Now they make their food, but what happens to the food which is made by the plants? Our next topic is what happens to the food which is made by plants. Let me tell you, some of the food which is made by plants is used for their growth and also survival. Like some of the food which is made by the plants is used for their growth, and also they do not die because they have made the food for the survival. Now the rest of the food which is left from the plants which they can't eat, that food is stored in the form of stock. That food is stored. That food is stored where? Let me tell you. That food is stored in the form of stock. That food is stored in the form of stock in different parts of the plants like roots, leaves, seeds, or fruit. Okay, so the roots. In the roots there are onion and many. In roots, like there is onion which is eaten by us. In the stems there is potato which is eaten by us. In fruit there is coconut and everything which is eaten by us. In flower there is cauliflower which is eaten by us. Yes. So in seeds there are peanuts which is eaten by us. So this all leftover food which is left by the plants is eaten by us humans. Okay, and that food is stored in roots and stems, leaves, seeds, or you can say flour. Okay, so this leftover food which is left by the plants is stored in the form of stock in different parts of the plants like roots, stems, leaves, seeds, or fruits. Yes, so let me read it again. That some of the food which is made by the plants is used for their growth and survival. Food which is made by the plants is used for the plants only for their what? For their growth and survival. Okay. So made by plants, that food is used for the plants for their growth and survival. The leftover food which is left by the plants is stored in the form of stock in the different parts of the plant, for example root, leaves, stems, seeds, or fruits. Okay, and the stored food which is left by the plants is eaten by us humans and animals. Okay, now I would be liking to tell you some interesting plants. Okay, and those interesting plants is our third topic. Okay, is our third topic, and that topic is topic is non-green plants. Now you would be thinking, if they are non-green, then how they are surviving? Because like chlorophyll is there, so chlorophyll is the substance which is responsible for the green color of the leaves. So if they are not green, so how are they making their food? Okay, so let me explain you now to it. So like mushrooms and molds are non-green plants. We all know that do not have chlorophyll. Mushroom, we have seen wherever that mushrooms are green. Have you seen the molds that they are green color? No, they do not have chlorophyll. Now you are thinking that then how are they surviving? How they are having their growth? Because they don't have chlorophyll, they don't have photosynthesis process. How they are making their food? They cannot make their own food, you know. They grow on dead and decaying plants and animals and get their food from them. Dead and decaying means like the food which is dead and decaying, like which don't have any, means which is died. The insects which are died, the animals which are died, and they are means starting decaying. Okay, decaying matlab galna like when the animals are died, so they started decaying. Okay, so that decaying insect, that decaying animal is eaten by the mushrooms and molds, and then they are surviving. What happened if they are not having the chlorophyll? But they can eat the insects which are died, right? They can eat. So that is why they are surviving. They grow on dead and decaying plants and animals and get their food from them. Let me tell you again, mushrooms and molds are non-green plants. They do not have chlorophyll, hence they cannot make their own food. They grow on dead and decaying plants and animals and get their food from them. Okay, let me start some the other topics now. Okay, the next topic means our fourth topic. Our fourth topic is insectivorous and carnivorous plant. Means it's insectivorous plant, you can say as insectivorous plants. Now you will be thinking, insectivorous plants? Which type of plants they are? What is an insectivorous plant? What's that? Insectivorous plant? I haven't ever heard about it. So let me tell you, what are insectivorous plants? Have you ever heard about plants that eat insects? Have you ever heard? Ever means any time if you have heard about that. That they eat insects. These plants that eat insects are known as insectivorous plants. The plants that eats insects. You know, the plants that eat insects are called as insectivorous plants. For example, the examples of these insectivorous plants. The example are salute, Venus, flytrap, and as well as pitcher plant. These are some examples of the insectivorous plants. Okay, so do you know why do they eat the insects? They're of green color. They have chlorophyll. But why does they eat insects? Because they are having chlorophyll. They can make their own food. Why are they eating? Because they are growing in that soil which has lack of nutrients, which have no nutrients. They grow in that soil. So how will they survive? How will they make their own food? So that is why they eat the insects. Okay, they grow in soil that is poor of nutrients. Okay, poor of nutrients. structure that help them to trap insects. You know, they have a very special structure that helps them trap the insects very, very, very easily. Okay, so first let's talk about sundew. Firstly, let's talk about our sundew. It's also an example of insectivorous plant. So, sundew. Let's talk about sundew. So, the leaves of sundew are covered with hairs. Means the leaves of the sundews are like hairs. Like hairs. Leaves are like hairs. Can you understand that thing? So, sundew leaves are like hairs. You know, this hairs shines in the sun, like the hairs that sundew have. Sundew have the leaves like are like of hairs. So, in the sun, it shines, and that attracts insects. Okay. It is caught by the curling of its hair. Like, have an example that this is your sundew. These are the hairs of the sundew which is covering. Okay. The insect is sitting here. So when the insect is sitting here, these types of plants have such type of sense that tells them that something is sitting on them, and that sense helps these curly hairs covering. Okay, and when any insect sits on that plant, the hairs covers that plants and rolls down that plants, and after some time they eat that plant. Okay, they suck its blood and throw it out. This is how they make the food. Okay, so let's talk about something again. So, the curling of hair traps that insects. That sundew sucks the blood and throws that insect out from it. Understand? Okay, let's have an example of the second example of insectivorous plants, and that is Venus flytrap. Venus flytrap. Now you are thinking about Venus flytrap. So, the leaves of Venus flytraps are like a jaw-like, means they're like this. And when an insect sits on it, that jaw, it closes that insect. Okay, sucks its bloods and then opens, and that insect comes out. Did you understand something from that about Venus flytrap? Let me tell you that. Okay, let me tell you again. See, leaves are like jaw-like. Leaves are like a jaw. Okay, and insects sit on that. An insect sits on that. It shuts. It shuts down. It gets closed. And this is how the Venus flytrap traps the insects. Now I hope these two examples are very much more for this fourth topic. Now you will go and search from Google that what are the examples of insectivorous plants. This is your homework. Okay. Now let's have an example Now our fifth topic. Our fifth topic is parasitic plants. Parasitic plants. Now you all think like, what is parasitic plants? Parasitic plants? Let me tell you what are parasitic plants. So these plants are like dodder, means amarvel. Amarvel means it is like a bale. Okay. So these plants are like dodder. Like dodder. These plants like a dodder. A dodder. But it means amarvel. Amarvel. Am I right? Amarvel. Okay. And they can't make their own food, produce their food. Hence, they grow on the other plants. So, how will they survive if they can't make their own food? How does these types of plants survive? These types of plants grows on the other plants. Grows on the other plants. Means, have an example. This is an amarvel, and this amarvel is on this plant and is covered, and this plant is covered by the dodder, by the parasitic plant, by this parasitic plant. Okay. So these types of plants that grow on the other plant for their survival are known as parasitic plants, and the plants on which the parasitic plants grows is known as host plants. Now let me tell you again the definition. Let me read it out again and then you will get to know. Plants like dodder, amarvel cannot produce their food. Okay, hence they grow on the other plants for food and water, and these are called parasitic plants. The plants that grow on other plants for food and water and their survival is known as the parasitic plants, and the plants on which these parasitic plants grows are known as host plants. HOST HOST, host plants. Host plants. Okay. Now our next topic is food for animals. Next topic. Our next topic is sixth topic. Food for animals. Okay, so food for animals. Like, unlike animals that cannot make their own food, they depend on plants or other animals for their food. Thus, they are called consumers. All plants do not eat the same kind of food. They depend on plants indirectly or indirectly for food, directly or indirectly for food. Animals that depend on plants directly for food. Yes. So, animals that depend on plants directly for food are called herbivores, and those that depend indirectly are called carnivores, omnivores, and scavengers. Okay. So, now let me tell you again the whole topic. Let me explain. So, unlike animals, the unlike animals cannot make their own food, cannot make their own food. Depends on plants and food. Depend on plants or other animals. Okay. Unlike plants, animals cannot make their own food. Unlike plants, animals cannot make their own food. Depend on plants or other animals. Okay. For their food. These types of animals are called consumers. Consumers. Unlike plants or animals that cannot make their own food and depends on other plants or animals are called as consumers. This is the definition of consumers. All animals that do not eat the same kind of food. All animals do not eat the same kind of food. They have different kinds of food. All animals do not eat the same kind of food. They eat the different kind of food. Okay, so they are like they depend on plants directly or indirectly for food. Now depend on plants directly for food are called herbivores, and they don't depend indirectly are called. See, let me explain you that animals that depends indirectly for their food are known as herbivores, and the animals that depend indirectly are called as carnivorous, omnivorous, and also scavengers. So, directly are known as what? Directly are called as herbivores. Indirectly are known as carnivorous, omnivorous, and also scavengers. Okay? So the animals that depend on plants directly are known as herbivores, and that depends indirectly are called carnivorous, omnivorous, and scavengers. Did you understand till here? So some examples of herbivores are zebra, deer, and anything. Carnivorous examples are lion and snake. Omnivorous examples are bear, crow. Scavengers examples are leopard and eagle. Did you understand till? Now let me tell you what are herbivores. Animals who eat plants and their parts are called herbivores. For example, deer, cow, and elephant. Omnivorous are the animals that eat both plants and animals are called omnivorous. For example, humans. They eat plants also, they eat us like humans also. So you can give an example as humans. Flesh of other animals. The animals that eat the flesh of other animals are called carnivorous animals. For example, tiger, leopard, and lion. Okay, these are known as carnivorous animals. And now let me give you some examples of scavengers. So animals that eat died animals. So died animals. They are known as scavengers. For example, leopard and eagle. Okay. Now herbivores. Animals who eat plants and their parts are called herbivores. Carnivorous. Animals that eat the flesh of other animals are called carnivorous. Omnivorous. Animals that eat both plants and animals are called omnivorous. Scavengers. Animals that eat died animals are called scavengers. You know, scavengers eat only died animals. They do not eat decaying animals, because decaying animals are very bad and not healthy. So, scavengers eat only died animals. They do not eat decaying animals. Okay? Now let me tell you what is the decomposers. If this topic is clear to you, now our next topic is of decomposers. Okay? Now let me tell you what are decomposers. Our seventh topic, Decomposers. Okay, now I will tell you what is a decomposers. The decomposers are the microorganisms like bacteria obtain their food from dead and decaying animals. The decomposers eat dead and decaying both types of animals, but scavengers eat only and only died animals. But the decomposers eat dead and decaying both types of animals. Okay. So let me tell you that these are some microorganisms like bacteria, that obtain their food, that obtain their food from everyone. Decomposers are some microorganisms like bacteria that obtain their food from dead and decaying animals. Its example are bacteria and fungi. Okay. The decomposers are some microorganisms like bacteria that obtain their food from dead and decaying animals. Means decomposers eat decaying and dead both types of animals, and scavengers eat only and only died animals. They do not eat decaying animals. Now our next topic is a food chain. Okay. So next topic, food chain. Our next topic is food chain. Okay, now what is a food chain? Let me tell you. All organisms that are linked to each other by what they eat. A series of organisms like linked together in an order in which they feed on each other is called food chain. In other words, a food chain is a chain of organisms in which each organism is food for the next organism. So you can say a very easy definition for food chain that can be is a food chain is a chain. A food chain is a chain. A food chain is a chain of organisms in which each organism is the food for the next organism. In which each organism is a food for the other organism. Okay, so this is the definition for it. Now, this food chain can be on land and on pond both. On land also it can be, on land or on pond, in pond it also can be. So, let me give you an example of food chain on land. For example, like here is an example of food chain on land. In the food chain, grass is eaten by a grasshopper, which in turn is eaten by a frog. The frog is eaten by a snake, and the snake is eaten by an eagle. Okay, so the grass is a producer, and grasshopper, frog, snake, and eagle are all consumers. So why grass is a producer? Grass is a plant, that is why it is a producer. Okay, like in the first topic we have learned green plants make their own food, and that we are saying that plants are known as producers and autotrophs. So producers, so grass is a producer. Okay, because it only gives the food to these whole of the animals. Okay, for an example, this is a grass. Okay, it is giving the food to a frog, frog to snake, snake to eagle, eagle. Okay, so frog, snake and eagle, what are they? These all are consumers. These all are consumers, and this grass is a producer. Okay, so this eighth topic, food chain. A food chain is a chain of organisms in which each organism is a food for the other organism. The food chain can be on land also and in the pond also. So on land it is grass. Grass is eaten by a frog. Frog is eaten by a snake. Snake is eaten by an eagle. So frog, snake and eagle are all consumers. So that we have learned in the topic food for animals, that the animals that depend on other animals or plants for their food are called as consumers. So these are also depending on the producer. And what is a producer? In the first topic we have learned that a producer, the plants are known as producers or autotrophs because they are giving food to all these consumers. This much is clear to all about food chain. Now let's learn about a food web. Now let's learn about food web. So it will be our ninth topic, but our last topic. Food web. Food web. Okay. Now you are thinking that what is this food web? In the food chain, everything is linked. Nothing is any difficult. Everything is linked. Means this to this, this to this, and this to this. In order they are. But in the food web, they are not in order. Many food chains in food web, so many food chains are interlinked. Interlinked means, for an example, there is a grass. A grass can be eaten by a rat also. A grass can be eaten by a rabbit also. A grass can be eaten by a ant also. Ant can be eaten by a fox. It can be also eaten by a fox. It can be also eaten by a fox. Right. So this whole is a food web. Means it is not fixed that it will be eaten by this only. It would be eaten by this only. In food chain, it's kept in order, but in food web, it is not kept in order. Okay. So let me give you this food web that definition, and its definition is that you can say many food chains are interlinked. Many food chains are interlinked. This forms a food web. This forms a food web. Okay, this is a definition. So, in food chain, everything is kept in order. In food chain, everything is kept from order to order, and it is linked. But in food web, it is not linked. It is interlinked. Okay, like you can say that in this many food chains are interlinked. It is not kept in order. This is known as food web. And if someone asks from you that show it in diagram, so you can say that, like, you will draw grass and you can say that grass can be eaten by a ant also, by a rat also, and by a frog also. A rabbit can be eaten by an owl also. The rat can be eaten by an owl also, and the ant is also eaten by an owl also. But the ant, rat, and rabbit is eaten by a fox. Means everything is eaten by a fox. Okay, this whole is known as food web. Means it is not linked, it is interlinked. It is not kept in order. In food chains it is kept in order to order, but in food web it is not kept in order. So now I will tell you one very good magic that you will revise all the topics, all the 9 topics which I explained to you till now. Okay, so let's read and reflect. Okay, so our first topic. Plants are called producers as they make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Plants make their food in green leaves with the help of carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll, and sunlight. Non-green plants like moles and mushrooms cannot make their own food, hence they derive their food from dead and decaying matter. Sundew, pitcher plant, and Venus flytrap are examples of insectivorous plants. They trap insects to get nutrients. Parasitic plants like dodder or mulberry grow on other plants and suck nutrients from them. Animals are called consumers. They can be herbivorous, carnivores, omnivores, scavengers, or decomposers. All organisms are linked to each other by what they eat in a food chain. Many food chains are interlinked to form a food web. Means in a food chain everything is kept in order, but in food web it is interlinked. Nothing is kept in order. Okay. So I hope it is clear to you, everyone, to every one of you. And now I have a very good fact aunt for you all. And that fact aunt is parasites are animals. Parasites are animals which live on the bodies of other animals and suck their blood. Let's see, for example, we can say is like there is lice, there is mosquito in the lychees. These all means they all comes on our hand, on our skin, and then sucks our blood and go. This gives these parasites, and so these mosquitoes are parasites. Okay, the parasites are the animals which lives on the bodies of other animals and suck their blood. So I hope this whole chapter is clear for you all. Now your homework is that you will see insectivorous plants, all types of insectivorous plants, parasite plants. You will see a food chain video and you will also see a food web video. So your homework is see insectivorous plants videos, see parasitic plants videos, see food chain plant videos, and see food web videos. Okay, this whole you will see, and subscribe my channel, click the bell icon and click the subscribe button, and it should be subscribed. Also share it to all your friends and relatives. Like this video. Thank you.